No, you're fine. We're just beginning. So would anyone like to try to read that first line, just the first word where it says one?
Carol, I know I printed this out, but I can't find it. So I'm going to look for it. I'll be back.
Okay. When we're using the Siddur, I can give the page numbers for both the Siddurs. So that's me-ore, and they separated it just to show you the syllables. So me, that's the first syllable. That one letter with the shva, me, or me, ore. And then they put it together, me, ore. And
What's
it's kind of, I think it means brings light because or is light. Me'ore
Okay.
is light. Or like or zarua la tzadik, or light or zarua. Light shines for the tzaddik, for the righteous person.
Okay.
Okay, so what about the second one? Now we have 3 syllables. So it's when you're saying a blessing on a cake, so it would be borei mine mizonot. Now, people who are from the old country would say mizonis, but this is mizonot, and then they put it together, mizonot. So when I'm studying for tomorrow for a Torah reading, and I have a tough word, I write it down, and I break it into syllables, and I study it in the syllables, and I write it phonetically in syllables, and it seems to help. You know, you do anything you can. So it's mizonot. And like you would say, mizonis, that would be the way the Hasidim would say it. Okay, somebody want to try word number 3?
I will.
Who's the I?
Hey, Denise.
Me, Denise, good.
Well, Le'olam.
Right, so it's le, o, lam, because your ayin is silent, and then lam. And then when you put it together, le'olam, and you've seen it a million times, le'olam va'ed, forever and ever.
Yep.
Okay, so when you see the word broken up, it helps you with the pronunciation. It's not so scary. You break it into syllables, okay? The number 4, you all know. Diane, what does that say?
That's Ivanu.
V'tzivanu, we're gonna go with the v.
Oh,
Because, yeah, it's not a and it's not e, it's v'tzivanu. Okay, does anyone know what it means? The root is tzav like in mitzvot. So the root would have to do with command, tzav, and v'tzivanu, nu on the end means us, and commanded us, v'tzivanu.
Oh,
Ivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Does that sound familiar? And commanded us lahadlik to kindle. Hadlik ner, the light of Shabbat. Somebody's calling me from BOCES. Okay, wait. Okay. So Vitzivanu. So now 5. Let me just take this quickly. Hello. Yes. Oh, okay. Could you call back a little later because I'm on a Zoom, I'm teaching a lesson. Yeah. Perfect. Great. Thank you so much. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay. Setting a new password with BOCES. Okay. So you see between the lamed and the vav, the word lave. So levav ha. Does anyone remember what ha means? Whose heart is it?
Yours?
yours.
Your. Yeah, the ha on the end is your. Remember that Hebrew is composed of in the middle, the chunk in the middle is the real meaning, the shoresh, the root. That's the part that gives the meaning. The suffix is the stuff that's put on the end, like ha or nu. And the beginning is a prefix. So le vav cha. Repeat it. Let's see. V'yahavta et Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha. Okay, you should love the Lord your God with all, b'chol levavcha, with your lev. Lev is heart, and lev shalom is a a peaceful, lev shalem is really a complete heart, a full heart. So there's the cha on the end. You should make a note of that. You can write on these sheets. Levavcha, with your heart. Okay. Le. Yes.
ahead.
Denise, go ahead.
Well, okay, so you've got the Shabbat under the Lamed, and then you have another Shabbat under the
Right.
Vav. That's the
Exactly.
one you don't pronounce. When there's two, is that the one?
That's the
you don't
silent one. That's the
Okay,
shvanach.
that's where I get
Resting.
confused.
Okay, so
Okay.
you start with le vav, and that comes at the end of a syllable. The sounded one comes at the beginning of the word.
Okay.
So it's le vav cha, le vav cha. Okay,
Good, thank you.
okay. Sure. Now you have two in the word six. So Denise, you want to try word six? You know this. Da 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 dee da dum dum dee.
Yeah, okay. Vishamru.
Vishamru. So the first under the vav it's the sham, and that is the silent or the resting. The shvanach, it's resting. The shamru. There's three syllables. The shamru. All
Mhm.
right. Okay. All right. Now they're giving you now with two. Okay, but we'll focus more on some of the harder words next week with this. Okay, what about seven? Can somebody do that? Again, you know this with candlelighting.
I'll do it.
Okay,
Li had leak.
perfect. Le had, there it's not pronounced. Leak, lahad leak, ner shel Shabbat. Okay, and this word you might know too. On 8, Nancy, you want to try it?
Melavto.
Yep, malachto.
No, malachto, right?
Malachto. Okay, malachto. Okay, anyone want to try number 9? All right, this would be the tome. That is silent under the mem. The tome. Che ha. Remember that yet is silent. The tome checha. There it is. The tome checha. And it's a che ha. The tome che ha. It's a little hard to say because you have the ch and then the regular, the breathy, the aspirate H. The okay, the tome checha. And 10. Da 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 dum da 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 dum dee 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 dee.
Lemikra.
That's not the
Lemikra.
Lemikra Lemik, like Mickey Mouse. Lemikra 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 Kodesh Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim. You recognize that melody? It's from the Kiddush. Kiddush l'Shabbat. Okay, so I'm going to say the words, and I want you looking at them and say them after me. Okay, we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Me'oreh, mizonot,
Mizonot.
le'olam,
Olam.
vitzivanu,
Vitzivanu.
levavcha, vishamru.
Vishamru.
Okay, I'm up to number 7. Lahadlik,
Lahadli.
number 8. Malachto,
Malachto.
number 9. Vitomchem, I'm sorry, Vitomcheha.
Vitomcheha.
And number 10, Lemikra.
Lemikra.
Okay, next week we'll take a look at the Shva a little more. Now let's go on because we wanted to really, so I wanted to give you some vocabulary, but I didn't have time to spend typing it up in Hebrew because when you type in Hebrew, you put a letter and then the next letter has to be in front of the last one because you're typing in Hebrew. So it it's very time consuming. To do this would take me an hour. So I pulled out expressions. There's one of my favorite expressions in Hebrew comes from here. And I gave it to you. So what I did is I thought, well, I can't write in script because I don't know if you know how to read script or write script. I can't write in Hebrew block letters because I don't know if you know how to write in Hebrew. That's something you could do over summers. Teach yourself how to write. Get an alphabet. I think I gave you an alphabet page, and then just practice it. So this is the prayer for the state of Israel. So we come to the expression state of Israel. Now the word for state is Medina. So there's two different concepts. One is Medinat Yisrael. The state of Israel refers to the government, the Memshalah, the government. And Eretz Yisrael refers to the land, the geographical land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael. Okay, so we have the political Israel and we have the actual geographical Israel. So this is the political one, because the words here are, it's a blessing for the leaders of our country. And when we get to that, they say it's the word that is used in the Torah for chieftains, like tribal chiefs. And they use it in this prayer, which is really cute. If you know that word and you come to it and say, okay, which of the tribal chiefs am I going to bless? Do we have any tribal chiefs in the United States? We have to think about the Native American. God bless you. Love
Bless
you.
you.
Okay. Last week, by the way, Francine, in the Haftorah, they talked about a Shunammite woman whose son was like knocked unconscious, and he said he had a splitting headache, and he looked like he was on the verge of dying. And the prophet Elisha came to her house because he used to stop by, and she had a room for him. She was very hospitable. And the boy sneezed 7 times, and then all of a sudden he like woke up from his coma. But you know, in mythology and with Bubba with all these grandma tales, when you sneezed, people used to think that your soul was exiting through your nose. That's why they would say Gesundheit, to your health, or
God bless you.
God bless you, right? Because they were afraid you were going to die. But this was the opposite. And I pointed it out at services to the rabbi. He says, oh yeah, that's right. It's reversed, because the kid sneezes 7 times and then he wakes up. Okay.
I'll try it.
It was, yeah. Well, you're alive and stay that way. Okay. So we know what the first word here is tefillah.
Mhm.
Tefillah is a what?
Prayer.
Prayer.
Prayer, right? So
Right.
tefillah, lishlom, for the shalom, peace, Medinat Yisrael. So it's a prayer for the peace, in the state of Israel. So this is political. This is not about the land. Okay, so this is like a blessing. When we read it, you'll see it's for the advisors, the president, like for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their cabinet. It would be like that. It would be the people who are head of our government. Tefillah l'shalom Medinat Yisrael. Now, our cantus sings this, and I don't know if I know the whole thing, but it goes something like this. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'goalo. And he repeats, Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'goalo. Barech, Barech, et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Gilatenu, Hagen Alecha Berat Chastecha, Ufros Alecha Sukat Shlomecha. And then he goes back to the beginning. Does that sound anywhere near familiar? Anyone ever hear that? Yes. So it's a pretty standard melody then. So, Avinu, we know that Av is father. So the phrase, now you get, this is what I'm saying about you're in first grade Hebrew. Avinu Sheba Shamayim. Who are we talking to?
God.
Okay, but we don't have the word God. We don't say Adon, Adonai, Eloheinu. We use the closer word, our Father. It's like our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I remember that from grade school because they used to take out the principal used to say the Christian prayer. He took out his Bible and he read the Our Father prayer. So we had to learn it. You know, with the midi blouse, a white blouse and everything, you're wearing red, white, and blue. Francine, did you ever go through that? Where they read the Our Father prayer?
No,
Go to public school?
yeah, I did.
Okay, well, in mine, in the Bronx, this is what they did once a week. So I got to learn it. Avinu, new on the end means our, us or our. Av, father. Avinu, our father. She, who, ba, in, Shemayim. What's Shemayim?
Heaven.
Okay, so there's two prefixes there. She, who, ba is in the Shemayim, heaven. Okay, so that's like the kite string. Okay, they add the stuff on in the beginning and then they add it on the end. So if you learn your prefixes and suffixes, you'll get to recognize them. Then you'll see if you cut those away. I mean, if I were in a real classroom, I would write it out big and then I would cut the prefix and I would cut the suffix. I used to do that in Hebrew school. What's left would be the root word. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, I
Doing the
lost
prayer.
the Zoom link, so,
We're doing the prayer for Israel.
okay.
So, Avinu Sheba Shemayim. Sur. Anyone know what Sur means? Sur Yisroel Koma.
Rock, right? The
Rock.
rock.
And we'll get to, I'm going to start soon with some Hanukkah blessings and songs. Ma'oz Sur. Sur is a rock. Okay. Rock of Ages. Ma'oz Sur Yeshuati. Well, that's going to be maybe next week. So, Tefillah L'Shalom Medinat Yisrael. Avinu Sheba Shemayim, our Father who is in heaven. Sur Yisrael, and that's another phrase for God, the rock of Israel. They're referring to God with that. Sur Yisrael, the Goalo, and its Redeemer. Gaal is redeem, and its Redeemer. Barech, what does Barech mean from Brocha?
Bless.
Bless.
Blessed, right? Brachot, bracha, brachot. So this is a stripped down root. Bet, resh, final chaf. Barech, and it's the command, bless. Barech, et is a feature of Hebrew grammar we don't translate. It comes before direct object. So bless what? Bless who? Barech et Medinat Yisrael. Bless the state of Israel. Et is never translated. It's just a feature of grammar, and you put it in before a direct object. So Avinu Sheba Shemayim, Sur Yisrael, V'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael. Well, you should be able to do some sight reading of that line because there's a lot of familiar stuff there. There's nothing weird there. And if you look in the bottom, there is exactly the, I'm looking at the Hebrew, but there it is, bless the state of Israel. And then it says, Reshit Smichat Gulatenu. Reshit is in the beginning, the beginning of the promise of Geulatenu. There's a lot of Geulah is redemption. So those are some words you don't know. Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. So you're looking at the translation with this promise of redemption. Okay, so I put down in the vocabulary in the bottom, Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel. Tsur is rock. Goalo, its redeemer. Okay, now we have another command, Hagain, and I wrote you a little note. Did you ever hear of Magain David wine?
Yes,
Okay, what does Magain David mean?
Star of David, right? Or
Not
Shield
star.
of David, shield,
Shield, because on his shield there was a star.
right.
Okay, so Magain David. So if you're wearing star, the word for star is that's not the word for star. Okay, so with shield it with your love. So Hagain, that's from Magain. Hagain alecha, protect against it. Be'ezrat chastecha, with the help of your compassion. And this is the expression that I absolutely love because I love the holiday of Sukkot. Ufros alecha. I love that image. Ufros alecha. And cover it, protect it. Protect it. Protect. Fros is like a yeah, protect it. Ufros alecha. Sukkot, here it is. Sukkot shlomecha. Protect it with put over the state of Israel, your sukkah of peace.
Mm.
That phrase is, I think, one of my favorite prayer phrases. Sukkot shlomecha. That's why I really like this prayer. Ufros alecha, and cover it with your sukkah of peace. Cover the nation with like a great canopy of peace. Well, what I think they have now is they have rockets. They have those rockets that's
Iron Dome.
Iron Dome.
Kippat
I-
Barzel was they called it Kippat Barzel is the kippah, think of a kippah like an umbrella, Barzel of iron, the Iron Dome. That's what it is, Iron Dome. So it's like being a big iron kippah over the state of Israel. And thank the United States for giving money for that, because it's very, very expensive each time they employ it against an incoming missile, of
Mhm.
which there are many from Gaza, usually. Okay, so ufaros alecha, and place above it sukat shlomecha. Ushalach oracha, and send shalach, like shalach when we talk about Purim, shalach manot, sending of portions of candies and sweets, shalach manot. So, and shalach, and send, or zaru la tzadik, or is light, and send shalach, where I lost my place, shalach orcha, and send your light, talking to God, send God's light, va'amitcha, and your emet, and your truth. The Rashecha. Now, Rashecha are from Rosh. Those are the heads of the tribes. That you'll see that word in the Torah. The Rashecha, to your heads. Sarecha are ministers. A sar is a minister. The Yoadsecha, and your advisors. So that you can see that this is governmental. This is a prayer, political prayer. V'taknim be'etzah tova, and give good advice. Tova is good. Etzah is advice. Give good advice. Milfanecha, before you. Okay. Let's see. Chazek. You know what chazak? When you get chazak, panit chazek. When you get to the end of a book of the Torah, everybody stands. Chazak, panit chazek. Be strong, chazak, and be strengthened, and strengthen yourself. Okay, so does anyone remember ever standing at the end of a book of the Torah? Okay, at the end of each of the 5 books, when they read the last Torah reading in that section, in that book, let's say Genesis, okay, which Bereshit, everybody stands, and the one who's reading the last line in the Torah would say Chazak, v'nit chazek, and everybody says that Chazak, v'nit chazek, and then you go Chazak, v'nit chazek. That is a little different. Okay. Chazek et yedei migine eretz. Okay, strengthen the hands of the defenders of the land, of our holy land. Eretz kodshenu. Kodesh is holy. That means the army. Okay, the IDF, the Israel Defense Force. So now we're praying not only for our heads of tribes, our governors and mayors and presidents, we are also praying for the army, the Israeli army. Okay, and give, and God will give Yeshua. It's again like from Joshua's name, Joshua, salvation, Va'ateret nitzachon, and crown them with victory. Ta'atrein, complete victory. V'natata shalom, and give peace. Ba'aretz, in the land. V'simchat, that's a beautiful phrase. Simchat olam, everlasting happiness. Simcha, right? Come to someone's simcha. Simchat olam, and eternal happiness. Liyoshbecha, to its inhabitants, to us. And let us say, Amen. Okay, now I was not looking at the, my translation was, I was just doing it, looking at the Hebrew, but you can see a little smoother one below. But I'm giving you the base words, the main words. Chazak, chazek is the command, strengthen. Hagain is the command, shield. And Eretz Kodshenu, our holy land, I have that. Simchat olam, lasting joy. Vinomar, and we will say Amen. Okay, we like that. So it's a very, very meaningful, a beautiful prayer, especially if you're living in Israel right now and you have enemies on all sides. To the north, you have Hezbollah. To the south, you have Egypt. To the east, you have Iran, Iraq, and Syria. And to the west, you have Gaza. And isn't that fun? So you certainly need a kippat barzel. You certainly need an iron dome. And you need a constitution of iron to live in a land that's constantly under siege, under bombardment. Okay, so now let's see if you can read this. Okay, we'll go through it once where I'll say the phrases and say it after me and look at it carefully. Okay. Tefillah,
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 Lishlom,
Lishlom,
Medinat, Yisrael,
Medinat Yisrael,
Avinu Sheba Shamayim,
Avinu Sheba Shamayim,
Sur Yisrael,
Sur Yisrael,
Vigoalo,
Go'alo,
Barech,
Barech,
Et Medinat,
Medinat
Yisrael,
Yisrael,
Reshit,
Reshit,
Samichat,
Michat,
Geulatenu,
Ulatenu,
Hagain,
Again,
Aleha,
Alecha,
Be'evrat,
Devrat,
Chastecha,
Chastecha,
Ufros,
Ros,
Aleha,
Alecha,
Sukat Shlomecha.
Lamecha,
Mhm. Ushlach,
Ushlach,
Orcha,
Orcha,
Va'amitcha.
Va'amitcha.
Okay, so there is a silent shva, amitcha, you don't say amitcha, amitcha. Lirasheha,
Rashecha,
Sareha,
Sarecha,
V'yoatseha,
Yoasecha,
V'taknem,
Takne,
V'etza,
Ve'atsa,
Tova,
Tova,
Milfanecha,
Milfanecha,
Chazek,
Asay,
Et Yedei,
Yedei,
Migine.
Ine,
Okay, so they're the defenders. Here's the IDF. Eretz,
Eretz,
Kod Shenu.
Kod Shenu,
Okay, and under the Dalet, it's silent. It says Kod Shenu. And that one is one of those expression, those are words that we say, you know, like a lot of words that have the root kodesh have or, kodshenu. Anchilem,
The hun.
anchilem, the first is a hey and then it's a chet. The han chilem. Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Yeshua,
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 Va'ateret,
Teret,
Nitzachon,
Nitzachon,
Achon,
Te'atrim.
Te'atrim.
Okay, and don't, that dot in the middle of the tet, forget it. It's just to give extra sound to exaggeration. Tata shalom,
Tata Shalom,
ba'aretz,
Ba'aretz,
v'samchat olam.
V'samchat
My eye caught something. V'simchat olam, because the word is simcha. V'simchat olam,
V'simchat Olam,
liyoshveha.
Yoshvecha,
Now the word yoshev or shev means sit. So this is those who are your dwellers, those who dwell in the land of Israel. You know, like squatters, settlers, anyone who sits in the land would be like they don't call them settlers, they just say inhabitants. Those who dwell in the land, and that this word is like Yoshev is like dwell, to your dwellers, to your inhabitants. And this is giving everlasting joy to your inhabitants, to all those who live in Israel, is what it's saying. Benomar, Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so if you have a pencil or a pen, what I wanted to do is a little game. Let's see, okay. So if you can number the lines starting with Avinu. Okay, that's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. I didn't do Tefillat Shalom. That's just a title. Okay. So I'm going to say a word, and we used to play this Latin Hebrew school, and it's called Yeshli. I got it. Yeshli means I have it. So I will say a word, and your job is to locate it. So if I said Avinu, you would say line 1, first word. If I said Shavah Shemayim, you'd say line 1, second word. Okay, so this is what your eye used to recognizing words. You're going to hear it, and then you're going to see it. Okay, all right. I'll make the first one easy. Medinat.
Got it.
Who found it?
I got it.
Okay, Charlene.
It's line 1, the third word.
Not the third word. It is on line 1, Medinat. Oh, no, I said, okay, you're right. That's part of the title. I started numbering of the word Avinu.
Right. So it's line 2.
Okay, so it's the last word, right, Charlene, in line 1. Okay, so we'll start like Avinu is line 1. Okay, let's find. Oh, here's a good one. Geulatenu. Geulatenu. Who's I got it? Francine?
Me.
Line 2,
1,
2, 3, fourth word.
1,
If you don't count the one in parentheses.
1, 2. Great. Geulatenu. Okay. All right. The next one is Ufros. Ufros.
Got it.
Okay, Francine.
Third line. Third word.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Now we got a good one coming up. V'yoatzecha.
I got it.
Okay, Diane.
Line 4, the fourth word.
Very nice. Can't stump the stars here. Okay, the next one is the Hanchilem.
I've got that.
Got it.
Line
Okay, where is it? Diane?
Oh, line 5 at the end.
Very good. We're getting good. The next one, ta'atrim.
I
I've got it.
I've got it.
Line
Ah,
6, third from the end.
Very good, Janice. Okay, and the last one is a phrase. Simchat olam.
Got it.
Charlene?
It's the last line, the second and third words.
Very good. Okay, so this is very good training for your eyes because some of you said, well, I'm not so sure about all the letters. Okay, so you're just listening to me say these, pronounce these, and then you have to look for them. What do they look like? This is what they sound like, but what do they look like? And you're good, you're getting it. Okay, does anyone know how to sing this? Anyone can remember from da 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 dum dee 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 dee. That sound familiar? Yes, it sounds familiar, but can you recreate it? Okay.
That's
so
the only
let-
one I know.
That's the only one, that's the only.
To sing, you know, it's.
Well, because it repeats so many times.
I know.
Okay, I think you guys did really well with this. I want to make sure we get to the other one too. We can always come back to this. Okay, so you can see there's some really nice, to me, that image of the sukkah of peace, sukkah shlomecha, the sukkah of your peace. And I love my sukkah more than anything. When I'm in my sukkah, I'm a happy camper. It is really, next to Passover, that's my next favorite holiday. And when we put this sukkah away, I'm always upset because I can't wait until I put it together again for the next year. If you've never put up a sukkah, do it because it is the most wonderful feeling. It's like a playhouse. I go in there and I feel like I'm 5. It is like a special secret magic playhouse. Okay, so that's that. Now, I gave you some references in case you wanted to use your Siddur, and I think we all know the melody to Me Kamocha. If you wanted to use, does anyone want reference pages for their Siddur? I can give it to you and you can write it down and then you could look it up. In
Yes,
Lev
please.
Shalem, you'll find it on page 158. That's the red Siddur. In the older one, the blue and gray one, in Sim Shalom, it's on page 352. Okay, and it comes before, it's in the morning service, and it comes before the Torah service. It's in the morning service. Okay. So I wanted to tell you something. I don't know if you ever learned this in Hebrew school or somewhere along the way. So Mi Kamocha Be'elim Adonai, that phrase, which is in the bold, if you will look in the bold over here, towards the bottom of the page, you can see the bold letters, the bigger letters, Mi Kamocha Be'elim. When you take the first letter of each word in that phrase, so you have the mem, a chaf, a bet, a yud, Mi Kamocha Be'elim, right? Mem, chaf, bet, and yud. If you knew how to write this down, you would look at that and say, I could pronounce that word. That word is Maccabee. And that's where they got the name of the Maccabees from. Now, Makav in modern Hebrew is a hammer. And you may have read stories. Judah Maccabee, Yehudah Maccabee, was called the hammer because he was such a great swordsman and a fighter. So Makav is also, if you put the vowel under it, Makav, without the yud, is hammer. But Maccabee is really from this phrase, from the prayer book, Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai. And it means, who is like you amongst the gods, Adonai? And the translation, I didn't give you that in English, but this is exactly what it says. The translation in English that I have is, who is like you, Adonai, among all that is worshipped? But all that is worshipped is Mi Kamocha Ba'elim Adonai. Who is like you amongst the gods? Ba'elim, it's plural. because pagans, right? You know, in the time of the Maccabees, who were they fighting against? The Greeks. Who did the Greeks worship? Greek gods. That's your Bullfinch's mythology. And go back to Greek gods. So who, me means who, W-H-O. Ka, like, kamoch, kamocha, that's like you. The word kamo is like. When they put the cha on the end, kamocha, it means like you. So who is me, kamocha, like you. The word is, we just put in. We don't really have a verb to be in Hebrew. Who is like you? Ba, amongst, Elim. El is God. Elim is gods. Well, they're not talking about Jews. They're talking about other goyim. Remember, other nations, other worshipers. Who is like you amongst the Elim gods? Adonai. There's the Yud He Vav He, which is our God, right? And then it says, Mi kamocha nedar ba kodesh. Okay, in the translation I have, who is like you, majestic in holiness. Kodesh, you know. Okay, Mi kamocha. Nedar, ba, majestic, ba in kodesh, in holiness and sanctity. So at this point in the service, the rabbi will be going like this, and everybody will stand up, and everybody who knows what's coming will just look down the page, because we don't recite this whole thing out loud. The cantor might do a little bit at the beginning, and then where the box is, by the way, in your Siddur, where it says Tehilot La'el Elyon Baruch Hu Ubaruch Umbarach. Okay, praises Tehilot La'el Elyon, to the only God. Baruch Hu, may he be blessed. Blessed is he, and may he be blessed. Okay, so Moses, Uvenei Israel, Moses and the children of Israel, Lecha Anu, sang to you, Shira, song, B'simcha, a happy song, very happy song, and they said. So this is at the crossing of the Yam HaSuf, at the Sea of Reeds. This refers to the Exodus, right? And they're going across. So when the cantor does like one of the big passages like this, somebody mentioned it last week, he may do 1 or 2 lines and then give people to like just rest for a second or read it. And then the box is the end of that prayer. And then he would end with that. And then comes our part. And then we all stand and we say, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osei felech. And then the cantor says, Shira chadasha, Shibachul kolim, Lishimchat al sfat hayam, Yachad kulam hodu, Shira Chadasha, a new song. Shir is a song. Shira Chad, a new song. They praised Geulim, Shimcha, to your name, on the edge of the seashore when they got across to the other side. And Miriam led the women with the timbrels and singing. So Lishimcha, they're singing to your name. Al Sfat Hayam. On the seashore, they got across the Sea of Reeds. They're on the other side. They're going, no, 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 no. And they're dancing. She's Miriam, the prophetess, is leading them. So when you have, if you've ever been to your shul, your sisterhood, go to a women's seder. We used to have it ad nauseum. Every year they'd bring out the tambourines and they'd walk around. When I took over the sisterhood, like I called it a Sederai program, I totally changed it. I said, I don't want to have any more just women with the tambourines walking around the tables and then we eat. So I invited a speaker every year, and we made all different kinds of foods. It depends if the speaker was Ethiopian, we made Ethiopian food, and we had a Greek person from New York City Greek synagogue, and we had an Israeli, and then we would make that cuisine, and I made a cookbook. I put out a little cookbook. And we also, I said, you know, when the Jews the Israelites left Egypt, did just the women go out? No, they left with the men and the women and the children. So from then on, I invited to the Sederai program, men, women, and children. I said, it's not just for women. This is a family thing. This is a celebration of all the Israelites. So I changed the nature of it. Always a troublemaker. All right, so let's just say those lines and then we'll sing it. Mi chamocha va'elim.
Aileen.
Remember, you are never going to pronounce this. You're never going to try to say it. The Yud He Vav He is a tetragrammaton, and that is the sacred name of God. You just say Adonai.
I don't know.
I don't know.
When I see that in the Torah and I'm reading, I don't try to pronounce it. I just say Adonai and just keep going. That's what you're supposed to do. Mi kamocha,
Me, Kamocha,
nedar,
Nedar,
hakodesh,
Kodesh,
norah,
Nora,
Nura,
tehilot,
Elot,
osei,
Osei,
beleh.
Bella.
Everybody know the tune? Okay, so let's try to sing it together. 1, 2, 3. Mi va'elim Adonai. Again. Mi nedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot, osei beleh. And then, and this is the song they're singing on the other side. Shira Chadasha, Shibachu Geulim, L'Shimchat, Al Sfat. They're singing L'Shimchat, to your name. They're singing to you, God. Al, upon, Sfat Hayam, the edge of the sea. That would be the Sea of Reeds. It's not the Red Sea. It would be the Yam HaSuf, is really Sea of Reeds. Okay? Yachad, together, kulam, all of them, hodu, v'himlichu, v'amru, all they praised, and they said, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Everybody say that, Adonai
I don't know.
yimloch
Yellow,
le'olam
Leolam,
va'ed. Now that whole phrase you should be able to translate. You know what Adonai is. What is the root in Yimloch?
Melech?
Melech, right?
Melech.
Mem, Lamed, Chaf. Yimloch means he will rule. God will rule. And what does Le'olam Va'ed mean?
Forever and ever.
Right. So this is some of your, remember I said like in the kindergarten, first grade, these are the words, your little cards that they put on the window shades. These are your 100 first words in Hebrew. I'm not kidding. These are the words that are your anchors. Okay, when you see this, you go, I know that word. I know Melech. I know Malchut, Yimloch, Melech, Malchei, Hamlachim. I know that stuff because I studied it. I know the root. I could do it. Now, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed. Then the second part, you see the box, Sur Yisrael. What did we say Tsur is? Don't tell me Tsuris, it's not trouble.
Rock,
Rock. So this is phrase, it's used, okay? Here it is again. You'll see these all over. Once you learn some of these phrases, you'll see they're sprinkled in all the Psalms and the prayers. Rock of Israel, Sur Yisrael, we just finished that. Kuma, get up. So if you haven't gotten out of your seat by this time, or Kuma means rise. Sur Yisrael, Kuma, get up. Be'ezrat Yisrael, get up to the aid of Israel. Well, they're crossed over the sea, and they're telling everybody, you know, now is your time. You have to protect Israel. You got to protect yourselves from the Egyptians. Sur Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat. So the rock of Israel, get up in the aid of Israel. They're talking to God. They're asking God to help them. They just crossed over the sea. They were enslaved for 400 years. They just got out. It's like a prisoner and the gate is open. And they say, God, protect us. We don't know where we're going. There's no map here. You have no phones. We don't have any guidance systems here. I can't go on to Google Maps. They're going into the wilderness. Wouldn't you be scared if somebody put you in a desert? Go,
Yes.
know where they're going. So yes, you have to have faith, right? They saw the Egyptians drowning and the chariots. They got the water, supposedly, whatever it was, a tidal wave or something. They were able to get through. Okay. I mean, so they just watched something very scary and everybody getting drowned. The Egyptians all drowned in there. Now they're going out into the wilderness. So, oh, Rock of Israel, please come up to the aid of Israel. Uftei chinumecha. Help us. Okay, and then Yehuda v'Yisrael. So help Judah and Israel, the two main groups. Go aleinu, redeem us. Adonai, Savaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, O Holy One of Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Blessed is God who saves Israel. So when you look at these prayers and things, a lot of them like are in a context of history or tell a story or asking for help. And so, yeah, here, Rock of Israel, I have here, rise to Israel's defense, fulfill your promise to deliver Judah and Israel, the two main tribes. Our Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. Our Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. Adonai Tzvaot, praised are you, Adonai, Redeemer of the people of Israel. Okay, so this, so that goes, mi kamocha ba'elim adon. Let's do that part. 1, 2, 3. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai. Continue. Mi kamocha edar ba'kodesh. No Rahimo. Oh, say, we can't go. Shira Chadasha, Shibechol Golim, Lishimcha, Tasvat Hayam, Yachad Kulam, Hoduvim, Lichu, Yamaru. And then we all say, Adonai, Kimbo, Leolam, Ma'ed. And some people sing along with the cantor. I noticed one. Sur Yisrael. Kuma Ezra Yisrael Ufdei Chinumecha Yehuda Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzivaot Shemo Yegosh Yisrael. And then Cantor will say, Baruch Atah Adonai Ta'al Yisrael. And it's nice. And then you can sit. And the rabbi will say, Shev. Okay. So I will do, I think someone asked about the Kedusha. So the Kedusha in the morning service in Shacharit is slightly different in the middle from the Kedusha that we do in the Musaf. Okay, so I'll show you the differences. It's not that big a deal. A lot of it is the same, but right in the middle of it, it's a little different. So we'll go over that, and we'll go over our friend the Shema. We'll do more on the Shema. The silent Shema, which is at the end of a syllable. Okay. Now, once someone told me that if you see two Shmas together, Shva under one letter, and then the next letter has a Shva, think of it as twins who are fighting. So, let's see, Levav. I'm trying to think, I can't think of a word right now, but I will give you examples next week. So the first one is silent, and the second one is sounded, because they're both pulling in different directions. You know how kids are, I know twins. The first one will be, then they want to be different all the time, and they are. The first one is the end of the syllable, that's silent, and the second one is the beginning, because you have to separate the two shvas, like you would separate two kids. So you have two syllables. So the end of the first syllable, that's the silent one. And the beginning, like we saw today, of the syllable of the next one is the sounded one. I'm sure when I look in the my book, I'll give you lots of examples of that. And that should be helpful. And if there's any other, so next Thursday, we won't meet. That's the 25th, the 25th. And then we'll be in December. 25th will be like the 4th or something like that of December, right? And so we'll have 4 and then 7, 11. Now, you tell me when I think we'll do like 3. I don't think people I don't know if they want to do it during Hanukkah, which starts the 18th. So maybe we'll do 3 in December. The 4 and 7 is 11. And 11 and 7, 18. So that's a Monday. Well, whatever. Well, we'll do like 3. And then if you wish, we can do a couple of weeks in January. And then they'll be registering you and you can see where you want to go for next semester. Sometimes they allow a class to stay together, or if you want to move up to the intermediate, the big time, you can do that and try it out. You know, if you find it's great and you love it, well, terrific, then stay there. If it's too hard, you can go down a step to the advanced beginner. And nothing is set in stone. This is for you, for your benefit, and where you're comfortable. It's like that with the ESL classes that I have. There was a student who was in the level 1 and 2. She came into my room and she barely tested into level 3. So I thought, oh, she's going to have a hard time, but she's doing great. There were a few of them who came from across the hall to the lower class. They came into mine and I'm tough. And I make them work very hard and they stayed. The ones that came, they liked it, they stayed and they work hard. And they're learning. So if there's any requests, I write them down. Any others, we'll do the Kedusha next week. I had that. Anything else? Okay, of maybe some prayers that they'll be doing. So these printouts are from Debbie Lambert. And she printed out for the teachers, the one that I gave you, Mikamocha. That's not from a Siddur. So she gave some prayers that Denise, you'll be happy about that, that they are expecting you to know if you're going to convention in Schaumburg, Illinois, that
Yes.
people will be saying.
Okay.
Okay, and that'll be part of the service. So she
Good.
printed those out. So so that's what I'm trying to cover those. I looked at those and we covered a lot of them already. But whatever is left, we'll do. I think she has a Don Olam in there. Is everybody good on a Don Olam? I mean, in Kelohenu was easy. Are there any of the songs that you love, but you can't sing them? Everybody should know a Don Olam at the end of the service. Yes.
What's the other one that at the end of the service?
In Kelohenu.
No, at the very end.
Yigdal.
Yigdal.
Oh, Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yesh taba.
Sounds like a fight song.
Yigdal is we don't do that at the end of our service on Shabbat morning, do you?
No, we do it on Friday night sometimes. He alternates on Friday night,
Right.
but Saturday morning I've never done it.
No, they don't do it on Friday morning. They do it on Saturday, but they don't do it Shabbat morning. They do it on Friday night and sometimes on the holidays. At the end of a holiday service, they like to do Yigdal, like around Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. That's nice. But you have a lot of others that are the fun songs, So okay, but if there's anything, you can always drop me a note if there's something that you really don't know. I think Kiddush, I went over, I know last semester, if you want to go over Kiddush, you ladies said that you knew the blessings, the candles and the family and the hand washing, candles, wine, family, hand washing, shalom aleichem, all of those. Okay. If there's anything else, the Friday night blessings for the children are very nice.
I think you gave them to us in the very beginning, I think.
Well, you said you knew it, so we didn't go over it, but I could always go over quickly those Friday night. And since my kids are all not living home now, I I blessed them where they are. And I told you my story where one was in north and one was south and east and west, and I was making the sign of the cross. And I was pointing, blessing everybody. Must rub off from me that I work in the basement of St. Rosalie's.
Church.
That's where I work, and it's a wonderful work environment because nobody bothers me. Once I'm in my classroom, I'm the queen. Nobody comes in, nobody interrupts. It's wonderful. I love it. Oh, by the way, yesterday, Wednesday, I was honored from BOCES as a Teacher of the Year.
Oh,
And
lovely.
I
Yeah,
went
congratulations.
I went,
Mazel tov.
thank you. It was really nice. They had a giant picture. They'd come to the classroom and they took pictures of me with my students and all. And they asked us to write a bio. So I wrote a biography, and I said I wanted it to sound like my voice. So I said to my family, does it sound like me? Does it sound like a little humorous? They said, yes, it sounds like you. So yeah, that was really nice. And then I got a plaque, Adult Educator of the Year. And my vocation advisor said, come in this room for a second. I think I left something in there. And the lights were out. And I didn't even give it a thought. Then she put the lights on. They were all there with food and drink and everything and cakes.
course.
And flowers.
how
my
nice.
God. I was like so stunned because I said to them, this is your plaque as well as mine, because without you, there's no plaque.
Right.
Without the students and your inspiration, none of this could happen. So it was quite lovely. It was really nice. It was so thrilled. It's a wonder it did COVID. Every single one had to hug me and, gifts and flowers. I'm telling you, it was just amazing. So I've been with them a long time. Okay, ladies, I have to study. I have my little Torah reading for tomorrow with all these crazy Hebrew names. I have to Hadad and Yetur and people you've never heard of. These are Ishmael's children. This is in the beginning of Bereshit. And they're talking about the line of Abraham through Ishmael. And he's got a lot of kids. And I hate parshas that have naming of the kids when I have to say all these kids and sing about them. Anyway, so I'm gonna be off studying. So Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy.
Shabbat
Shalom.
I won't see you next Thursday.